Today, we're diving into the story of Dom Pérignon, not just as a champagne, but as a masterclass in creative excellence. Our journey begins in the late 17th century, in the limestone cellars of the Abbey of Hautvillers. Here, a Benedictine monk named Dom Pérignon managed the abbey's vineyards. His world was one of still wines, where accidental bubbles were a troublesome flaw. Contrary to popular myth, Dom Pierre didn't invent champagne. The famous cry, "Come quickly, I am drinking the stars," was a charming 19th century advertising invention. His true genius was far more profound and foundational. Dom Pierre was a visionary master blender, pioneering the art of combining grapes from different vineyards. He understood this could create wines of unparalleled complexity and balance. This meticulous approach laid the groundwork for future generations. He also championed practical innovations, like using cork stoppers for better sealing. He advocated for gentle pressing of black grapes to yield white juice, a technique still crucial today. His rigorous vineyard management set new standards for quality. Dom Pierre's legacy wasn't about creating bubbles, but about controlling them, transforming a chaotic accident into a refined process. His detailed records and enhanced reputation for the Abbey's wines echoed through centuries. He left behind a blueprint for excellence, even if he couldn't foresee his name gracing the world's most prestigious champagne. For over 2 centuries, Dom Pierre's name rested quietly in history. Then, in the 1930s, Moet et Chandon, a powerhouse in the champagne world, saw an opportunity. The market was evolving, and discerning customers sought something truly exceptional. Robert-Jean de Voguet, leading Moet et Chandon, envisioned an entirely new category. In 1936, they released the first Dom Pérignon, the 1921 vintage. This was a revolutionary concept, a champagne made only from the finest grapes of a single exceptional year. It was aged for an astonishing 15 years before release, presented in a distinctive, elegant bottle. This marked the birth of the prestige cuvée, a champagne prioritizing absolute quality over quantity. It was a bold move, especially as the world teetered on the brink of war. Naming it after the monk of Hautvillers linked this innovation to champagne's revered history. Dom Pérignon became more than luxury. It was a statement of faith in craftsmanship and beauty. It proved that excellence matters, even in uncertain times. What truly set Dom Pérignon apart from its inception was an uncompromising philosophy: vintage only, always. While other houses produced special cuvées in exceptional years, Dom Pérignon committed to a more demanding path. If a year's harvest didn't meet their exacting standards, no Dom Pérignon would be produced. This wasn't just marketing, it was a binding principle that continues today. Some years, the grapes simply don't align, and the potential for greatness remains unrealized. In those years, the Dom Pérignon cellars remained silent, their bottles unmade. This willingness to sacrifice production for principle became central to the brand's identity. It's a testament to their unwavering commitment to quality. This philosophy teaches us that true excellence sometimes means saying no. It means waiting for the right idea, the perfect execution, rather than rushing something out. Your audience will appreciate the dedication to your craft. The creation of each Dom Pérignon vintage falls to a single individual, the chef de cave. This cellar master is both guardian of tradition and visionary for the future. They are not just winemakers, they are artists working in time. This role demands technical mastery, intuitive brilliance, and immense patience. They craft something that won't be fully understood for decades. Only a handful of individuals have held this position since 1936, each leaving an indelible mark. Think of the chef de cave as the lead content strategist and editor-in-chief. They oversee the entire creative process, from raw materials to final release. Their vision shapes the brand's identity for years to come. They must possess a deep understanding of their ingredients, the grapes, the terroir, the climate. The chef de cave's decisions today impact releases decades from now. This long-term perspective is crucial for building a lasting brand. It's about planting seeds that will bear fruit far into the future. Richard Geoffroy, chef de cave for 28 years until 2018, transformed Dom Pérignon into a philosophical statement. Trained as an oenologist and physician, he brought scientific rigor and an almost mystical understanding of champagne's evolution. Geoffroy was the architect of Dom Pérignon's most radical innovation, the concept of plénitude. He observed that champagne doesn't age linearly. It passes through distinct phases of harmony, or plénitudes. These are moments when all elements achieve perfect balance. The first plénitude, P1, occurs after 7 to 10 years of aging on the lees, when Dom Pérignon is initially released. This is the champagne in its vibrant youth, expressing its vintage with precision. But Geoffroy discovered that after 15-20 years, a second plénitude, P2, emerges. The champagne reveals deeper complexity, heightened energy, and an evolved aromatic richness. It becomes simultaneously more intense and refined. A third plénitude, P3, emerges after 30 to 40 years, offering yet another dimension of expression. This philosophy challenged conventional wisdom about aging. Geoffroy wasn't just storing old bottles, he was mapping the wine's life cycle, releasing champagnes at each peak. This required extraordinary patience and resources, tying up capital for decades. The market validated his audacity, with collectors embracing the plénitude releases. They recognized the opportunity to experience the same vintage in profoundly different states of being. Vincent Chaperon, Geoffroy's successor, assumed the role with the weight of this legacy. Having worked alongside Geoffroy for years, he absorbed the philosophy while developing his own sensibility. This is a crucial aspect of creative succession. Where Geoffroy emphasized energy and tension, Chaperon focuses on texture and balance. He seeks a tactile dimension in the champagne, describing his approach as listening to the wine. He allows each vintage to reveal its own character. Under Chaperon's guidance, recent releases demonstrate a subtle shift. There's a softening of edges without sacrificing precision, a champagne that whispers rather than proclaims. It's an evolution, not a revolution, honoring the past while forging a new path. Chaperon's approach reminds us that creative leadership isn't just about imposing a vision. It's about nurturing the inherent potential of your material and allowing it to express itself authentically. It's about continuous refinement. The creation of each Dom Pérignon vintage is an exercise in controlled obsession. It begins in 17 Grand Cru and Premier Cru villages across Champagne, the region's most prestigious sites. Only Chardonnay and Pinot Noir grapes are used. The harvest is entirely by hand, with each grape inspected for perfection. This meticulous attention to raw materials is paramount. In the cellars, wines from different vineyards are fermented separately, creating a library of distinct voices. The blending is where artistry transcends technique. Chaperon tastes hundreds of base wines, each representing a specific parcel and growing season. He searches for complementarity, for wines that will elevate one another. A Chardonnay from Le Mesnil-sur-Oger brings crystalline minerality. A Pinot Noir from Aix contributes structure and depth. The chef de cave assembles these elements like a composer arranging instruments, knowing the final symphony won't be heard for years. After blending, the wine undergoes its second fermentation in the bottle, creating the signature bubbles. Then begins the long wait. Bottles rest horizontally in chalk cellars, aging on their lees, the spent yeast cells imparting complexity. This isn't passive storage, it's active transformation. Chemical reactions occur slowly in the cool darkness, developing the brioche and toasted notes of mature champagne. For P1, this aging lasts at least 7 years. For P2, 15-20 years. For P3, 3 decades or more. The patience required is almost inhuman. Chaperon makes decisions today about champagnes that won't be released until the 2040s. This is winemaking as an act of faith, a commitment to quality that extends far beyond quarterly earnings. Dom Pérignon is not frozen in tradition. The house has collaborated with artists and designers like Jeff Koons, Iris van Herpen, and David Lynch. These partnerships are more than marketing. They're explorations of how different creative disciplines interpret transformation and harmony. A Jeff Koons balloon dog in metallic gold becomes a meditation on celebration and desire. An Iris van Herpen design translates the flowing movement of champagne into sculptural form. These collaborations acknowledge Dom Pérignon's cultural significance. These partnerships demonstrate that even a brand steeped in tradition can innovate and stay relevant. It's about finding new ways to tell your story and connect with diverse audiences, pushing creative boundaries while honoring your essence. The question of myth versus truth ultimately reveals itself as a false dichotomy. Dom Pierre Pérignon didn't invent champagne, but the myth connects contemporary excellence to historical roots. It reminds us that great work is the product of generations. The monk's patient experimentation and Richard Jeffroy's Plénitude philosophy are part of the same continuum. They share the belief that wine, like content, can be more than a mere product. It can be art. When you hold a bottle of Dom Pérignon, you hold the culmination of choices made across centuries. You hold the decision of Robert Jean de Vogüé to create something unprecedented. You hold Richard Jeffroy's insight into cycles of harmony. You hold Vincent Chaperon's commitment to texture and balance. You hold the work of countless vineyard workers and the patience of cellars that refuse to release wine before its time. This is the true story, more compelling than any myth. In a world of instant gratification, there's something profoundly moving about a champagne that waits decades to reveal its full truth. The bubbles in your glass are not just carbon dioxide. They are time made visible, patience made tangible. They are the work of generations transformed into a single perfect moment. That is the real magic, the genuine miracle. Not stars in a glass, but something more precious. The proof that dedication to excellence, sustained across time, creates something truly transcendent. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What's one principle from Dom Pérignon's story that resonates most with your creative process? Let's build a community dedicated to crafting timeless content. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights into creative mastery.